when you've got those 40 minutes or those 60 minutes, do you feel you're using them productively? You're saying 2 problems in 40 minutes, 20 minutes reviewing a single problem. Is that worth it? To me, that seems to be the key question here.
So minor correction, 40 minutes on one problem.
Okay. Even better. Even better. 40 minutes on one problem.
Yeah. Which is just sometimes to me, it's just mind boggling. But, I guess I'm stuck. I don't know what's the better way to study, and saying, is it effective? I read everything. And as I say it, I sigh because it is long. 40 minutes on one problem, it does get overwhelming. I spent 40 minutes on a problem, and when you look at the clock, it is frustrating. Is it productive? I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't know. But I end up basically reading everything, learning about the different things that every tutor has to say, or every person out there has to say about this particular problem. And then when I go back to it, it basically in my head okays the time that I'm spending on it. Now, honestly, I'm not sure if it's okay. I'm not sure if there's a better way. I assume there is a better way. I just don't know how to get there yet. I don't think it's productive, to answer your question, because if I were to continue on that rate, then I'll probably need 3 years to really finish with the LSAT. And that's just not doable.
Let me ask for one clarification here. When you say one problem, do you mean a game with maybe 5 or 6 questions, or you mean one specific question out of a set of 25 or so?
One specific question out of 25 or so.
Okay. Okay. So that's deep analysis, and you're getting from multiple sources.
Yeah.
And some of them will say the same things. Some might say slightly different things, and you could pick up different things from each one and make your own understanding out of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you doing this for every problem that you complete, or only the ones that give you trouble, or only the ones that you get wrong?
So I first took an LSAT class when I graduated college, but that class was not productive, and I ended up having to go through some issues personally, and I didn't really find that class to be helpful at all. But after finishing that class, now what I start to do is I just do my own research, because I feel like I don't need to do any more oratory or any more presentation. I just need to focus on really spending the time honing my skills. So when I read the question, I would tie down, or I would lock down the 2 possible answers that could be the answer. And then I would research the question, and then I would see which answer choice is the right answer. But even after getting the right answer, which I know it was the right answer, or maybe I didn't, I still go back and see why the other answer is the wrong answer. Just so next time I encounter this question, I know what kind of, again, curveball they would throw at me. And that's how I've been doing it. So not just really understanding the question, but understanding the different answer choices that are given.
Honestly, to me, that kind of analysis doesn't sound like a problem. To me, I wish more students would do that. But it's a problem if you feel like it's a problem. If it's a problem, if it makes you feel demotivated because you feel, okay, well, let's say I'll just make up a number here. You got 20 questions wrong on a given exam. If you got to spend 40 minutes on each of 20 questions, that's 800 minutes. That's over 10 hours. That's a lot of time on one exam. So the question is it worth it? How could I do several exams with that level of detail? So it requires changing your approach in some way if that's what you need to feel confident and comfortable moving forward.
I try to do 2 problems, 3 problems, but then because work's so stressful, I end up doing nothing. It's just impossible to really deep dive into one problem and understand it. So to be honest, the way I have been keeping myself motivated and the way I have been feeling okay about myself is basically by reading The Economist or reading any other news outlet that is similar to the LSAT language. And that way I would feel better about myself and not really do the problems. And I'll tell myself, the more reading I do, the better I get at diagnosing these problems. And so Is it effective? No, because like you said, it's impossible. You're right. Every day I wake up, and this is my true, my absolute true 100 feeling, and I have to put this into words, and I have to face that. This is the reality. It's going to take me forever to get through the problems, and it's going to take me forever to get through the LSAT. And then the end picture is basically, this is impossible for me to get done with. Why not just quit? And so, yes, I do need to find a better way of studying. Yes, I do need to find a more productive way of doing problems. But I'm just not sure how to get there, because this is just magnificently time suck, if you may. And yeah, it's not really realistic to be studying like that for a year or two.
No, it's not. It's too much, especially when you have other obligations. You're reminding me of someone. First of all, you're reminding me of myself, but you're also reminding me of a friend. This friend, he was a person who liked to collect things. And I think many of us have an idea, have that impulse to collect things or to be comprehensive in nature regarding our understanding of something. So it's not just that you want to do one or you want to do five. You want all of them. So this friend, he's the kind of person where he looks up the top 100 movies of all time, and then he has to download all of them and watch all of them and properly tag all the file names and everything and look up all the details on the IMDb and those websites and learn everything he can. Like, to me, that's collecting. And it could be for something that's totally useless, or it could be for something like the LSAT, where there's a theoretical justification for that, where there's 89 numbered exams, there's a handful of unnumbered exams. Let me look up all of them and get all of them and do all of them and understand all of them. And that's something that I personally fell prey to. Luckily, there were only 40 something back when I was doing it, so it wasn't nearly as much of a job. Now there's more than double. But the idea is that if they're out there, I've got to do them. I've got to master them. And that serves you up to a point. It's probably going to get you a higher score than doing nothing, as long as you don't burn out. So what I'm sensing here is that when there's a problem that you don't get, you're looking up what person A says, person B, person C. There's videos, there's message board postings, there's books that contain it. And so if you could look up for one question, get 7 different sources, that would give you the most comprehensive view.
Yes.
So I'm going to recommend a totally different approach. I'm going to recommend for you a ban on explanations, where for the next problem that you complete, that you have trouble with, you are not allowed to look up explanations for them. For the next, let's say the next week, you cannot look up any explanations. Of course, you can look up the answer key and you can try to develop your own understanding of the problem and write it out for yourself and think on it. And you can form a study group. You can connect with a study partner. You can, of course, bring your questions to the weekly study groups inside the course and get your questions and discuss your questions there. But you cannot look up external recorded or written resources. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.